Welcome to another edition of Up and In It. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff, and if you're new here, welcome as well. And if you're wondering what the show is about, it's completely dedicated to creating an alternative lifestyle design that improves quality of life for both people and for the planet, exploring alternatives to the daily grind through liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving and living life the way it should be. Rah! I'm in a good mood today. A really good mood. I'm just positive. I don't really have very many notes for today, but I wanted to spread some positivity. And warning, the show contains explicit adult material, bad potty mouth language. This is episode 107. And yeah, I want to spread some of this goodness, guys. I think there's lots of positivity, I think of what I'm going to call this one, and possibilities out there, and that's exactly what I'm living. I kind of want to start this off with being busy, having a lot of things to do. And what I'm noticing is a lot of people are telling me about how fucked up everything is, how it's screwed up, why we shouldn't do anything. This whole coronavirus thing was man-made. We're getting word maybe it might shut down the country again, or certain states, and this blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. Well, guess what? That ain't helping you any. And it sure as hell ain't making you happy. And I think that we need to get busy, not just for busy sakes, like to ignore things, but to introduce new things into your life. And I think that's what's happening with me, and it's been for a long, long time, is that I have so much going on. Like I can give you, for instance, today as I found out about calcium nitrate, I think it was, and it's like double salt. That's what you want to put in your garden. That's what people are insinuating you should do. Well, it's supposedly called double salt, and it leaves lots of salt in your garden. It's bad for your insects, bad for your soil, the worms and everything. You can use something like powdered milk, and it does just the same. I don't think it has the same potency, but it's natural. You can be organic. Throw some powdered milk in your soil if there's plants that need calcium, like tomatoes and stuff. And it's all these little things that turn up to be big things, I think, that we can incorporate in our lives and learn. And I'm so excited about all the ingredients and all the things that I'm doing. And I as I speak this stuff today, I want you guys to imagine this in your life. Like a lot of things I say is like a philosophy of sorts. Like if you get the gist of it, as the last podcast was, if you get the philosophy of these things, you can incorporate them into your entire life, your spirituality, your business, money, relationships, everything. Get focused and get into things and share things and stop spending time with negative people. I think that's one of my biggest things, is my life is drastically improving because I've left out a lot of the negative nannies out. I'm just cutting them out. Like I got a pair of garden shears right now, and I'm just making some serious adjustments, and life is getting better. I think a lot of it is being barefoot. I'm on my way to my spin farm garden, and for those of you just tuning into, that noise in the background is my truck. I'm a very busy guy, working all the time. It's the only time I really get to podcast, and I live in a tiny house. There's no privacy, so this is my mobile studio. Forgive me for the sound quality there. But yeah, I've been working on the spin farm for this whole week because I threw out my back, cut my finger pretty wide. That's finally healing up, and and I'm in Sunnyside, California, North San Diego County, but for those of you wondering. And I've been working barefoot, and I think they call it grounding, just feeling my feet in the soil and in the grass and just in the sunshine. And it's just been wonderful. It like gets you in tune, and putting your hands in the soil and working. I've been noticing the rabbits running around and the lizards and just nature, and how much of that, in contrast to my major business, which is roofing, which I got to get back to here in about another week. In contrast to working on construction or working in a cubicle or something, being outdoors and being able to see the clouds changing and things, and the sun dimming and shining, and just the beauty of nature, basically, of how healing that is and how necessary it is for all of our lives, and how being barefoot in the soil almost is like dreaming. It gives you a reset. And I want to move on, that I've had a mockingbird that's been, I think he's following me, but I think I've got him I'm following him. So he shows up, and if anybody knows what mockingbirds are, they're called mockingbirds because they mock other sounds that other birds make, even some animals on a rare occasion. So what I've learned is that if you do if I could do this, wet my lips again, or like that, and you keep continuously doing this, you will train this mockingbird to actually answer back with those whistles. And I've done it before. It's been made it about probably 2 decades. But working outside and just basically it feels like I'm talking with this bird, which I think I am. And I don't know where all this is going. This might sound like some airy-fairy fucking bullshit to most people or something, but it's just really, I've been in a really good mood lately. Besides all the fucked up shit that's going on, you know, in the world right now, producing my own food, and that feels fucking fantastic. I'm creating a way to literally revolutionize and change gardening. If it works out the way I think it will, it'll be something completely and entirely new, and I can't wait to start showing you guys that. But all of these things, I've been spending my energy on these instead of the negatives, and especially with the negative people in my life, and incorporating new possibilities and new ideas. Today I'm making an automated sifter, and I'll make a video of it and post it on YouTube for you guys. But I've asked somebody to help me on the farm. They wanted to work, and I don't really have the money to pay them, but I said, well, I'll pay you, do some little things. They never showed up, and it sprung me into the moment instead of being negative about, well, how can I automate this thing? I speak a lot about that on the show. How can I utilize a machine and have it stack functions? To give you guys an idea, I've got all the tools in the back of my truck right now and all the parts for it. I basically I'm converting today a cement mixer, which will not only mix the soils for my garden, that's pretty much my primary tractor, that's all that's needed. It's what's wonderful about what I'm doing. It's so simple and compact. But I've just bought a a plastic gallon, I forget what it was, 30-gallon plastic container. If you guys know me, I hate plastics, but there's no way of getting around this one. But it's food grade, and I'm going to wrap it with 1/4-inch meshing, and I get to throw all my compost and stuff, and I get to sift it there, and I will do the work of probably 5 people by utilizing this piece of machinery, this little kind of invention thing that I've got going on here. It could also be detached, the sifter, and it could actually be used to mix the soil. So it's doing 2 different things, and it's actually replacing the help that's very much needed right now. And I'm just so excited to build it, and I keep constructing all of these new things in this gardening system and just in my life. And I think it's the free thinking and the good feeling. And I think that being barefoot and whistling at birds, communing with nature, it resets your batteries and opens you up. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have ever experienced this, but like a thought will just come and pop up in your head. It'll just show up like bink, and it seems like it comes out of nowhere. Like, you have this problem, right? You're like, oh my God, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this shit? I don't know. And I'll say one day, if you keep thinking about it enough and you're in a good, healthy environment, it just lands like a seed from the sky, just bloop. And then you're like, yes, I got it now. I know exactly what it is I'm going to do. And I think that it comes from having that cleaned reset, that clean slate on your mind, being able to receive that seed instead of looking down all the time, moving around in anguish and bothered by it. And I understand there's so much shit that we got to do. There's so many things, bad things and good things and just negative things that are around us, things that capture us, as I say, the fine print on all the things we got to keep up with in our bank accounts. Make sure we're not getting hacked. Make sure you're paying your taxes right. Make sure you're balancing your checkbook and everything. But there's also a lot more things to life, I think, if we can open ourselves and create those possibilities to rekindle that and get back to it. And I guarantee you, it'll pay you 10 times fold. You'll be much more happier. You will actually see a lot clearer, and you will actually make things happen. I have a problem with this. Somebody told me that, you're lucky that you got this and that. And I said, no, I like to think because I planned it. And it was a lot of things I put into place. As the last podcast said, there's a sequence of events of things that need to happen. We didn't get here overnight. We're not going to get out of here overnight. But once you start putting these things into motion, things start to fall into place. And then you start to see the plan and the production necessary to make things come to fruition. You can kind of see, well, this is never going to work. It's never going to get off the ground because we have this blocking it. Now, what could we do? We need one of those seeds from the sky to fall into our heads and give us the idea. And we need to calm ourselves and ground ourselves to let it come and hit. There's 2 things I wanted to say here too before I quit, is that it's the journey. I think that's my biggest lesson. It's the journey that we need to appreciate and love and respect and be a part of. It's not just all about the destination. In fact, I think with the build, like I'm doing with my garden right now in my life, is all the magic of the building phases, of getting into it and having to tweak things and invent things and move things around, and trial and error is like the funnest part. You fail, you succeed, and you're in that moment where you're just constant like a chalkboard and you're drawing a castle. And once the castle's done, there's a lot of times in my life where I've done those things where I was like, damn, I missed building the castle. Like I wish I need to find something else to build. Now I'm bored. We got what we wanted. Isn't that human nature? Most people, if you get what you want, they end up getting bored. It's like a box of See's candies, it tastes so good, but once you start getting down to the 20th of them, yeah, it doesn't taste so good anymore. And then you want something new and you get tired of it. So it's the journey, not the destination all the time. So learn to love the journey. I don't know, guys. I'm just kind of bouncing around here in my own little world. And I wanted to share this positivity with you guys. I've got one more. Guys, there's so much that we can do out there, that the possibilities with the internet and with everything is just immense. What I ask of you is stop focusing on the negatives and all of these things going on and start inventing things in your life. If you're at home right now on lockdown, you have the perfect opportunity to really pick up and really do something for yourself, for your family, for your earth, for the world in general, just by doing something simple as organizing a recycling system for your home. Instead of throwing all your trash, all in the same thing. Get stuff organized so that when you are getting ready to go back to work and you go back to work, you have everything set in your life to run very efficient and have fun. Start growing some of your own food. Start doing some microgreens or some sprouting or something, things of that nature. And I guess that's all I have to say. I hope this message finds you guys well, and I hope that you're being productive, creative, and working towards a happier time in your life, because you can make it. I'm the ambassador of freedom. I think that's what I'm going to start calling myself here. If a dummy ape like me can do these kind of things and tweak stuff, everything's tweakable, everything's changeable, nothing is set in stone. If I can do it, you guys can do it. So I believe in you. You guys need to believe in yourself. Thank you for being here today. If you like this sort of thing, check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple iTunes, and Spotify. And as I always say, guys, go out there and have yourself a near-life experience. Human up. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. Live it, love it, own it. Own it, my friends.